Looks like we're gonna need an ooze lawyer because they're about to throw the giant book at us. This week on The Hapless Heroes. And I have the right to remain silent.
Apparently not the ability.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I continue to be your host and DM as we continue this adventure in time that we've definitely started changing the episode names and numbers of at this point because what is even this story arc anymore? But before we get into that story arc again, I'm going to go ahead and introduce this cast. You know them, you love them. We have Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good evening.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
Nobody can see me. I'm behind the giant book.
Zach as Pregnart.
Hello.
Phil returning as Hedrick the Entertainer.
What is happening?
And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
We probably could have just had them read the regular size book.
Not true.
Yeah, so speaking of books
False.
that may have been things that have been blown out of proportion or into proportion, there a lot of plans were made last episode, and you guys decided to go with the first so we've learned a lot of stuff, obviously.
The Bush Journal.
About
Bush Journal.
Yes. Yes, we are going with the Bush Journal plan. If you haven't listened to the episodes prior to this, like, what are you even doing starting
That's a big
here?
mistake, buddy. You've done fucked up.
We have the Bush Journal plan. We've off camera kind of caught Hedrick up with what's going on. However, Hedrick himself actually has no idea what's going on because if I recall correctly, did you leave him unconscious in the Garden Inn?
I don't know if he was unconscious.
He was
out
swaddled.
of existence. Or,
no, he did.
Swaddled.
He did, and I
we
believe,
did.
If I recall correctly, Hedrick is swaddled, and lying in bed in the hotel, and you guys are at the tower. Capital T, capital T.
Yeah, he was illusory and inert.
Now
there was really good words.
You just can't call him a loser like that.
We left on a bit of an action beat. We were going with the Bush Journal plan. Boris was dissatisfied with the lack of attention that the Bush Journal was getting by the scholarly academics that happened to be sitting playing chess in like the large plaza that surrounds the tower. So Pregnart decided to step in and help with the whole calling attention to the thing and cast a spell and make the book really big, which then triggered the academics or prefects or whomever these people were to call for the authorities because you can't just be casting spells willy-nilly out in the streets. I thought we learned this by now, people.
We learned
Some
nothing.
of us did.
During our
the way I
red
like
herring
it.
moment, there was still information gained when you were trying to chase after Maven the Baker and Hedrick had cast Dimension Door to go to another side of the place, and all of a sudden the police were called because someone's just using, like, we have rogue mages using unauthorized magic.
Yeah, but enlarge is
once
just
again,
a second level spell.
Yeah, we just
That's
throw
fine.
caution to the wind though, and just ignore the fact we ignore the signs, and we just go full steam ahead and bash our heads into the wall once more.
No, this is like a scientific like stepping down of thresholds. So Hedrick cast a higher level spell, and that I think that was like a 4th or 5th level spell. So now we knew that anything at 4th or 5th level is bad. And now, see,
Okay.
I'm smart, so I cast a 2nd level spell, and now we know that anything second
Visible at
level,
all.
yes. And so next we can go down to 1st level, and that's the smart thing to do.
I mean, I guess so. But if I recall, now, I need everybody to kind of remind me a little bit, as even for our listeners, it's been a week, but for us, it's been a little bit longer than that. We had Pregnart and Boris engaged in this plot sort of directly and actively. I know that Zero was trying to find vantage points, I believe is what you were scoping out or trying to suss out.
Yeah.
But couldn't really necessarily find too much that was outside of the walls and also the two gigantic structures that are in the middle of this place. There's smaller buildings, but none of them are all that particularly high or elevated. But you're not necessarily standing right next to Pregnart and Boris. You guys are closer to the gates, if I recall correctly. Is that am I right?
I believe we were trying to watch.
You were watching, but you weren't you weren't involved at this point. You were just kind of observing the Bush Journal plan. Am I correct in this assumption? Right. I just want to make sure before, so I know who's going to be directly involved with the authorities, obviously, or who are they being called to or towards, in how close everyone is to that action. Jarrell, I remember you saying you were trying to be close by because you love to give people your blessings and auras and all that stuff. But where were you throughout this whole ordeal?
Can't quite remember, but I'm gonna say, it does sound like me that Jarrell would be within at least close enough to add the benefits. So, that would have to be 10 feet, really.
So, and would you say that that's exactly what you were doing? You were sitting there, pretending to read a book or something?
I'm still in my girl guide costume, right? So I think.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
Like, that was
You
the
didn't change, right?
chosen.
Yes,
This
so that you don't look like the
mission.
Boris that they had arrested before.
Yeah.
That much. However, Pregnart, it's the problem with having a Pregnart is that there is not really anyone or anything quite like Pregnart that exists at all. So he's a very recognizable face, but I feel like there may be an opportunity here. So before we sort of jump right into the action, before essentially before Jarrell, Boris, and Pregnart have to figure out maybe what they're going to do socially here, I would like to find out what Zero and Quinn are doing, and then we will cut the camera to Hedrick when something dramatic happens, so that obviously I can just leave everyone to wonder what's going on.
So I notice.
Oh, you heard the call from the guards.
Yeah, I see the crazy happening and the crazy starting. So I immediately turn myself invisible.
Okay, hold on. Let's just. I just wanna. That's cool. Of course you do. Of course you do. Because what else would Quinn do?
Quinn would immediately do that.
What else would Quinn do? So we're gonna put a pin in the you casting invisibility, because I love that I just finished saying that they're drawing attention to themselves by casting spells in the middle of this open plaza. And your first instinct, without even thinking about it, without even assessing the words that the DM just said, you just acted perfectly in character and cast invisibility on yourself. So I'm handing you your inspiration, and let it account for. We'll give it even adult onset if you don't use it. Sometime tonight in this recording session, use it.
It in his head, right? He's also thinking I want nothing to do with this right now.
Not.
But I also want to make sure that I can help if I can.
Also, in his defense, they have used invisibility before without calling the wrath down upon themselves.
Yes. You weren't doing it in necessarily just standing in the middle of a wide open plaza.
But mine's stealth magic.
Oh, it's stealth magic.
It's
okay.
stealth magic. It's fine.
Can you remind me what components are involved in casting invisibility?
So I have to. I don't.
No, but I want to. Are there verbal
that's what
components?
I know. I have to bring it up.
Are there somatic components?
I
And
can't
since
remember.
since I know Quinn loves to add that little flourish with the actual component pouch,
Oh, so you're gonna make me
I
do
know.
it. I got you.
Well,
Okay.
I'm saying that like when you cast this spell, you don't just okay, I'm invisible. You do your little thing. We just yada yada that most of the time, but right now it matters.
Sure. Okay, so invisibility. Okay. There is a verbal component.
Sure, there is.
That's so stupid. Why would there be a verbal component to that?
I'm sorry. Oh, it's so stupid that this is what this is. That this is just the rules of the game, huh?
But it doesn't make sense. But okay. Okay, so the verbal command is pop. I just say pop. And
It's like what we do in the shadows, right? Bat.
Right,
That's-
exactly,
that's-
exactly. And then the movement is like it's almost like I'm zipping up a coat, and so as I zip, I just like disappear.
Yep. Okay.
And then the thing that I need is an eyelash encased in gum Arabic, and I just have that in my pouch because I have tons of eyelashes in my pouch.
That's part of your component pouch. If there's
Yeah.
if there's no actual gold cost, it's just assumed that it's in your whatever component pouch. It's just flavor,
Mm-hmm.
and in this case, it kind of mattered. Great. Quinn pops and becomes invisible, and well, I'm just gonna roll some dice arbitrarily. This is a plaza that you are standing not far from the gates of. And oh goody. Definitely catches the attention of at least someone. We'll get to that in a second. Zero, what are you doing?
All right. Well, the first thing Zero is going to do is take in the scene in front of him and sigh heavily. It is deep and all-encompassing, and if you were really close to him, you could hear the servo whine from it. The second thing he's going to do is reach into his jacket. He will pull out the mug of the boss and immediately slug the contents of it, changing it to World's Best Barrister.
World's Best Barrister. Okay, all right.
And then...
So essentially, you are now their legal counsel. Is essentially what you're essentially going to be posing as.
Either they're going to need it, or, because I have one other thing I'm going to do, Zero will then reach into another pocket in his jacket, pull out the little fishbowl, pour the fishbowl's contents, fish and whatever liquid, into the mug of the boss. He will then continue to carry the mug of the boss, and he will just return the fishbowl to his jacket.
That sounds good. Okay, perfect. All right.
Plans and backup plans.
Perfect. Okay, so we got that. We've got where Jarrell is. We've got where Quinn is. We've got where Pregnard is. We've got where Boris is. And there's the sound of whistles, right? And then there are people and the clamping of boots and whatnot, and similar to the detachment you saw that came to question you in the alley in the 9th ward where you were. Now a similar detachment of some like authoritative looking types in robes and others in armor come marching towards where the academics were playing chess and where the gigantic book is. And we have a Boris in her girl guide uniform, and Pregnard as well as Pregnard. And
The small print is now medium print.
Yeah, and the lead prefect that kind of walks up from the front of start questioning is say human woman, middle-aged, brown hair, tied tied up into a very 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 tight braid in the back, like a multi-braid situation. I can't really I don't know hairstyles. I'm really bad at hairstyles.
And she has a Brazilian accent.
Really?
And she's 7'6".
All right. I can pivot to Goliath, but I don't know if I could do the Brazilian accent.
And she's got extra elbows.
Okay, you know what? You're done. I'm the DM. And she says, in a totally not Brazilian accent at all, because this is not Brazilian. What is the meaning of this?
Boris quickly walks up to her, almost, like, I guess, how far away is she from the book? And us?
15 feet, like, kind of like they're just like walking in, like yelling this towards you.
Perfect. So Boris goes kind of like running in her direction, not aggressively, like a scared girl guide, going, "Help, help, I think the book is evil!"
And, okay, hold on. I need you to make me a persuasion check. Or deception
That's
check,
smart.
excuse me.
That's a
Deception, not
smart
persuasion,
thing.
Well, deception because you don't think the book is evil. You
Right.
know what
Fine,
you
I'll
know
take
what this is.
deception.
You're
Yeah.
actively lying.
You are lying.
25.
25 is very good. Hold on. Okay. I'll tell you what I rolled. It was a 16 on the die.
I rolled a
Even
19.
after modifiers, you got very close, but you did it. So now this prefect is like, or this, this guard or like guard mage or whoever they are, right? No one's really bothered to figure out titles or hierarchy in this system yet, and I'm not going to necessarily. I don't care. She comes up to you and she says, "We'll get to the bottom of this." And she just like says some like spell words or whatever and casts dispel magic on the book. And you see it immediately just plop down to a normal size. The two academics that were sitting at the chess tables be like, "No, this little frog person, I swear, is the one who cast the spell. We have unauthorized use of magic in the streets." The guard just like looks at you, Pregnart. What do you have to say for yourself? Hey, wait a second. She looks at you. She like reaches down to her waist and produces like a small piece of parchment. And, like,
Oh
folds
no.
it, and looks at it, and then like looks at you, and then looks at it, and then looks at you.
Pregnart makes like a funny face as if to disguise himself.
Wait a minute. There's all the
And that's a performance.
sure.
He performs that way now.
Sure it is.
21.
She just goes, stop doing that with your face.
Doing what? Persuasion.
And
Just
she's like,
interjects. Boris
she, like,
interjects at this point and is just like, "No, you have to. The book. It's evil. You have to see it. It's got all this stuff inside."
How do you know what's inside? What did you
I'm-
do to it?
I opened it. I found it in that bush, and she points at any random bush in the general direction.
Hashtag Bush Journal.
Hashtag Bush Journal.
Okay. Oh my God, you guys are freaking idiots.
We're really good at this game, huh?
Sorry, just give me a second.
So good. Go
the,
team.
The academics continue to argue. No, it was this frog. He cast some sort of stupid spell, and this girl was just like interrupting, like the game. And she just the guard just goes, "Silence, you two. We are investigating now." And but hold on a second. And she like keeps looking at this parchment, and she like shows it to like one of her compatriots. It's like, it's the same. Does this look the same to you? It looks. I mean, how many other little frog things have you ever seen wandering around Newell?
Did
Well, I don't watch
Pregnart
you
overhear
soon.
that?
Yes.
I have many family members here.
Okay. Make me a deception check.
Oh no. I was trying not to lie. I guess that kind of slipped out. Anyway. Okay, that's good. I got a 10.
I got an 11 on the die, so
Okay.
a lot of
I guess it's
a lot
fitting.
of family here.
Yeah.
Yeah, boss. I think it's got it. It's the guy.
No, it's not.
I think you're right.
No,
Come
you're
with
not.
me. Oh.
This is where Zero is going to walk up and try to interject himself into this conversation.
Okay, so you were standing not too far from where Quinn was, correct?
Yeah, am I too far away to mosey my way into this one?
Oh, no, you're not too far to mosey your way. However, something stops you from doing that. As you're set to kind of move forward, you feel some, like from kind of behind you coming around to the front of you, someone like place their arm in front of you and kind of stop you, like hand on you, like palm on your chest. And it's like one of the guards. He's like holding like a big halberd. He's in like, this full like suit of armor, and he's like, care to explain to me why that fellow you were just walked in with not too long ago just turned invisible and cast a spell in the streets right in the middle of a crisis over here?
If he's turning invisible right next to me and vanishing from the situation, you can't call him much of a friend, can you?
Quinn's literally standing right next to you and hears that. We'll have words later.
But then as this guard is questioning you, he sees your mug, Zero. Does he have to make an intelligence save?
Let's
How does that work?
Yeah, let's see if it's sight or
It's been a while.
brandishing.
It's been a while since we've used this. So.
When you show the mug to susceptible creatures, they must succeed on a wisdom saving throw of 15. So, yeah. Might as
One
well
moment,
just
please.
flash it.
One moment, please. Well, you said you're holding it.
Yeah. We'll make sure the part on it that actually says that is conspicuously turned toward the viewer.
He looks at you. He's like, "Oh, you're one of those vulture lawyer types, huh? You're just waiting. You just come over here waiting for something to happen."
You mean like that prima facie case of racial discrimination happening over across the way? Yes, it's exactly the sort of thing I'm here for. Now, if you'd like me to add your name to the complaint, by all means, keep interfering with my ability to represent my clients.
Does your client include the man who just went invisible? Because one of our guards will just cast True Sight and find them and arrest them.
Well, that is entirely dependent on the status of his retainer.
The guard now just kind of like stands and just addresses the open air around Zero. If you show yourself and say that you're claiming your legal counsel, I technically can't arrest you. This is probably your only chance, buddy.
Roll for insight. Roll for insight.
Yeah.
I need Zero and Quinn to roll for insight. Because Zero technically is the lawyer in the situation as well, so, he has to say. This is the stupidest thing. I can't believe we're doing this. Oh, okay.
Did you get 20?
No, but I rolled a 19, which gives me a 23.
Yeah, he's being pretty genuine. Like, if this is probably your legit shot to like not get arrested right now.
Zero got a 2 on the die with absolutely no modifier.
Zero, you're feeling less confident in this guy because you actually have no idea what Ulian law consists of, and you know nothing about the intricacies of the actual legal system here in Ul 160 years prior to you even being created.
You're right. I have absolutely no idea. You know what I do have, and it's something I've brought up before? The greatest poker face in Teldoria. I say nothing.
I become visible.
Like, do you like almost like sheepish, like,
And I say, I'm sorry. It was just pure reaction. The large book scared me.
it's just a reflex. Zero, now would be a good time to advise your client to not speak any further on the matter.
You are advised to continue to remain silent. Something, anything you say can and will. You know.
You're reading him the Miranda rights. Like,
I'm vaguely summarizing Miranda rights from someone who doesn't actually know them.
right.
All right, before we start doing our best reenactment of Law and Order Hapless Heroes Edition, I'm going to cut the camera to the Garden Inn. Hedrick, you awaken from a magical stupor. You feel almost like your mind is like you have a splitting migraine, and it's like right in the center of your forehead because something happened when you were rejoining with your like illusory double and you yourself, because your illusory double had gone through a sensory experience that cannot really be described in words. In that, aside from a Pregnart foot massage,
Was he healed by the swaddling?
I mean, it's certainly, you certainly feel comforted. You feel like you just are in this like it's one of those things where you wake up, it hurts, but like you're comfortable and you just like don't want to move, but you have shit to deal with today, and it's just like 5 more minutes of this bliss before I have to return to whatever fresh hell my friends have gotten into without me. But like your personalities and your psyches sort of start to sort of finish merging back into one, and you're kind of feeling a little groggy, but like you could probably like get yourself out of this very tight and very snug swaddle.
Hedrick's thoughts. Now announcing Hedrick's new album, Just the Right Amount of Blankets, in a market near you. And he is wiggling and looking around now, noticing that he is by himself. I imagine he recognizes the room, and then he is observing his wrappings and how he got here. Does he have his instruments nearby?
Yeah,
or any
all
of his
your- all-
equipment on him?
All of your stuff is here. I'll need however your friends had arranged it and dealt with it for you. It's like whatever was on your person before is still on your person. No one stole anything. I see that Boris has a comment.
There are also shackles on the table, and I don't think that's been noted, but you would definitely see them if you were looking around the room.
There are shackles on the table as well.
I did
Yes,
leave
yes.
them there.
Okay.
So Hedrick will crawl himself up out of bed with a big stretch. Kind of just at first listening, just to hear what the situation may be. And he's
This is the quietest that your room has been since you got here.
Yeah, he's given himself a once over to make sure it's all there and in place, and he's kind of like slapping his cheeks to check to see if maybe this is a dream or some sort of strange effect, and
You're
then
very much conscious.
he's gonna grab his belongings, curiously eyeing those shackles on the table, and walk back out into the main room. He's gonna try to find if there's anybody like a concierge of this like Garden Inn. Or-
Yes, actually, you see that there is a concierge frantically running up to your door, being like, "Oh, is the Master Frog in? I have his request, and it's the hamster that is what is it? It was a hamster riding a unicycle. I forgot what I said, but it was that. It was the exact thing that Pregnard had asked for. That
It had a
seemed
name,
impossible. Mm-hmm.
You didn't write it down?
I did not. No. God, did you?
No, I requested it.
Okay, well, I mean, sorry. That was my brain 2 weeks ago. This is my brain today. Shit.
So let me get this straight. Concierge runs up to the room with a service platter, and there is a hamster riding a hamster-sized unicycle.
Yes.
No, normal
With
size unicycle.
with a. Oh yeah, he has a red hat. He has a little
He's
red
wearing a
hat.
fez.
Yeah,
He's wearing a
wearing
fez.
a little fez. He's got, in fact, he's got 2 little symbols he's clapping together too.
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
You're not there to enjoy it, unfortunately. You guys left.
Fuck.
You asked this man for this thing and then just left.
Oh man, I am.
now
enjoying
Hedrick has
it.
to
It
deal
sucks
with
that
it.
Pregnard can't feel this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Tell me, when was this request made?
I mean, just 30 minutes ago, maybe. I happened to get very lucky, and there was someone traveling through town right here at this very market, and I was able to procure this very, very specific thing for your very, very specific frog person.
You have done wonderfully, and
Where would you like it?
I'll take it here in the room, please, if you don't mind. Thank you. And I'll tip him 3 gold.
Oh, thank you so much. You've been so generous with us so already. I mean, you may have strange requests. However, you're paying. So
you have all exceeded our expectations. You've done a wonderful job, and we will be writing just the purest of reviews for your establishment.
He wipes the sweat from his brow because he clearly has put some effort into this search to find this thing, and he's just like, I thank you, good sir, and I leave you to your devices.
Well, thank you. I had just one more question before you go here.
Sure, yes. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, I was just wondering, it is very urgent for me to send a message in this town. Would there be able to convey any ways of contacting my little frog friend and our fair companions?
Oh, they're not here.
At the moment, no. I just come down with a bit of a cold, a little cough. I was just waking up from a rest, and they seem to have all gone about their day.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sure someone else who works here has seen them. I mean, we could just come to the desk with me. We can ask. I'm sure that can point you in the right direction.
Well, sure. First, one thing, I just got to take care of old Harry the hamster. And whatever Hedrick knows about handling animals.
What's really funny is that there is a very specific skill that deals with the handling of animals, actually. If you would like to give me a check with that said skill.
Okay. I sure could use my fool's luck right now, but you haven't claimed it yet.
Oh, the gaff?
Yeah. So it's a 14-16 total.
Okay. I mean,
thank God.
With most living creatures, it requires food and water and someone to take care of it. It is a hamster after all.
I mean, it's a pretty fucking amazing hamster to be able to be riding a unicycle, wearing a red hat, and not having a problem with any of that. Enough for a concierge to bring it up to the room undisturbed.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty special hamster, but it has basic needs, just like anyone else.
Absolutely. And I want to take a moment with the hamster.
And the hamster looks at you and it gestures. It puts its little symbols down, and it just makes its it kind of waves its hands a little bit, and then puts its hands in front of its mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to.
As if to say, I want to play the harmonica.
Or I'm hungry.
Oh.
Yeah. And I would imagine, Hedrick can have access to food, or he has some.
I'm sure you have. There's plenty. I'm sure
him.
there's something around, but what do you feed this thing? It's probably seeds or whatever. I think Quinn has some of his sunflower seeds hanging out around here.
There are still Girl Guide cookies on the table as well, actually.
There are also still Girl Guide cookies in the room. Yes.
Yeah. Don't let me go down as the guy who killed the hamster by feeding it the wrong food, Fran.
I'm not. Why would you even I wasn't even thinking about that until you put that thought into my head.
Look,
I just
maybe
want you
just
to know
don't
that.
feed it the wrong food.
I just want you to know that that you, until you said that was not even anything that I was remotely considering, and now you've put the thought into my head.
I got the
If you
16.
fucking kill this hamster before Pregnard sees it, I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Listen, this is a very special hamster. I'm sure it can have a little bit of cookie and be fine.
I could burn a
If you
spell
have nothing
slot
else.
and create a force cage around the hamster so he would not. But that's only an hour. That's not gonna work.
I swear to God, if this hamster dies before Pregnard sees it, or if you let Pregnard see this dead hamster,
You're already assuming it's still alive. It is still very much alive and having a great time so far, and is just expressing the fact that it is a little bit peckish.
Yeah. No.
Just go with the shortbreads, right? Don't give it anything crazy.
I'm sorry. Did we summon anything besides Thin Mints? Jarrell.
Oh, it was only
No.
Thin Mints.
Yep.
Okay.
Do not
sure.
give this
Okay.
thing chocolate.
Never
Do not
mind,
give it
Phil.
chocolate.
If you go back to the alley behind the bakery, there's also like 30 gallons of water or something like that that are just sitting there.
Yep.
And fish.
Hedrick,
Just rotting in the sun.
if the concierge hasn't gone away, at least at this point, he knows he can like order things through this guy, and his priority is okay. I will accept this very strange and uniquely extravagant request, but I need to take care of this thing too. So I need, maybe some light greens. I need maybe little crumbs of bread, little bits of cheese, little scraps and stuff, and I'll be happy to pay full price.
Everything you need is
Yeah.
is brought up to you. You have to pay nothing extra because Boris overpaid for this room by an order of magnitude.
So I want to give it the probably the bathroom, and I'll just set everything up in there so that this. Little
you open
hamster
the
can
you
wheel
open the
around.
bathroom door and it is covered in bubbles.
Oh, that's right.
Ragnar did take a bath before you woke up.
Well, then Hedrick will go to his own room,
Yeah.
and that's the best that he could do. He is going to try to set everything up, and then take one of the blankets from the bed and wedge it underneath the door from the outside, and make sure all the windows are closed.
So the hamster starts eating and it looks very happy and it starts like clapping its little hands together, and then it looks up at you and it starts like squeaking, and it starts gesturing to you again. I need you to make me an animal handling check one more time.
Okay.
It wants a goddamn harmonica, all right?
A 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay, you think that you can make out the fact that it's got its palm out and it's doing like the walking fingers and then pointing at you. But you're not quite sure what it means.
Are you saying you want to come with me? And he's
It
gonna
starts
crouch down.
it starts squeaking very excitedly.
So
This
then
sounds
he'll
so
lay
cute.
his hand out, palm up, and wait for this thing to unicycle itself up onto his shoulder.
Yes, and the and the unicycle is appropriately sized for the hamster.
Does a little wheel sound like a squeaking hamster?
Wait,
Yes.
hang on a second. Can the unicycle just be slightly too small for the hamster?
I'll allow it.
Yes.
Harry,
and
you are-
with perfect balance, it wheels itself onto your shoulder and is maintaining balance on the unicycle, never stepping an actual foot onto your shoulder.
If you remind me later, I gotta tell you a story about a fish. And he's gonna get up and move himself down to the front and try to get a look around, try to see if he can get a bead on where everybody else is.
As you kind of walk down, one of the other people who's working at the hotel says, Master Hedrick, your friends just left. I saw them get on a wagon bound for the tower.
Very good. Tell me, could you arrange transportation? And
Wagons
leave them over there.
wagons leave every 10 minutes.
all right, he'll tip him a silver, and just be tipping himself like out the door, basically.
Okay, make me a perception check as you're leaving.
Okay. $14.
14. You think you can hear just the very faintest whisper of what the bellboy that you had essentially tipped, or the person you had tipped, be like, man, I don't mean to sound ungrateful because that little kid paid 3 bars of gold, but I mean a silver. Thought these guys were made of money. And
Yeah, you're right.
no.
Harry, why don't you take care of this guy? And he's gonna hand 2 gold
No,
pieces
sorry.
to
I didn't mean to
hamster.
sound ungrateful. No,
I want the
I'm sorry, I didn't
hamster
mean
to roll down my arm and hand the 2 gold to this kid because he made an effort. And you know what? You're right, man. Keep sticking up for yourself, and you're gonna get by in this world.
The hamster looks reluctant to hand over the gold pieces to this person and is very excited to be holding these. Like, and is like looking with like wide eyes at the 2 gold pieces that you've handed to the hamster.
Hedrick will pull out like another little crumb or bit of his ration and just kind of try to lead him with the treat.
Doesn't even like it's all it's paying attention to now are the 2 gold coins it is holding.
Look, Harry, we're not gonna be worrying about that sort of thing. When you're with me, you're taken care of, okay? So hand the man his 2 pieces, and we'll be
And
on
he just
our
like
way.
looks up at you with Disney eyes.
Harry, come on, you know me.
For 10 minutes.
Literally does it, yeah.
I gotta make a persuasion check.
Sure, but you're gonna hold on. You're gonna make me a persuasion check, but you're gonna use your wisdom bonus because that's what's tied to animal handling, and I find that this would be a wisdom charisma check because you're communicating with the hamster.
He's been responding so far.
So far.
I think Hedrick is just so full of himself he believes his charisma expands.
Perfect.
to
That's great.
humanity.
Actually, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
We're good with that. Yeah. Whether or not it actually understood you doesn't matter.
It's a 19 on the die.
Oh, okay.
So if you want my persuasion, that's
No, it's fine.
a 34. If you want my animal handling, that's a 21.
No. The hamster reluctantly hands you back the gold pieces.
Okay. Well, then he hands him over. Hey, man, I tried. We're just getting this thing going. This is a new
Oh, I'm
beginning
sorry. I
here.
reached for the wrong coin before. I didn't mean to.
Oh no, I meant what I said before. Keep sticking up for yourself. You know what? You're right. We are made of money.
Fair enough. He's like, wow, I didn't think that'd work, but thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you take the next wagon bound for the tower. In the meantime, though, legal counsel, are you intervening in the situation that is now unfolding? Because, like, at this point now, the lead guard, she like bends down and picks up the now normal-sized journal.
Is Jarrell able to throw a persuasion in there before Zero gets up to us? Because I'd like to try it, talking like, I apologize. My little frog McGoggle friend here is not from around here. He isn't quite used to your customs. He didn't know it was an issue. And then I'd like to try to roll a persuade. Or I thought it was helping. He thought it was helping.
Before you even roll the persuasion. Oh, so you say your friend's not from around here?
Does he look like he's from around here?
No. In fact, we've only seen one person like him before. And if I recall, we kicked them out of the tower and explicitly told them never to come back.
We aren't in the tower currently.
Oh, so you acknowledge that you are trespassing. In fact, you're starting to look a bit familiar too, my good sir.
Well, fuck. I didn't think we were ever outside of the tower. That we were allowed to be outside
gone real
of the
differently
tower.
if you had your lawyer speaking for you, huh?
I was just trying to roll a persuasion on it, but nope, not
Take
allowed
foot,
to.
insert directly in mouth.
Yep.
Well, Zero, you hear this. You hear the whole conversation happening.
Yeah, and Zero hears the end of it as he gets there. All of those things notwithstanding, and he makes sure that the mug is just, briefly flashed across everyone's field of view as he gets there.
Hold on, I need to make like several wisdom saves. I'm gonna start with the most important people first. You were very lucky. The lead questioner here, this woman who very much does not have a Brazilian accent, no matter how much we want to say she does, says, "Oh, what is this? Another opportunist?"
I've been called worse by better. Regardless, what we do seem to have here is what appears to be a very clear-cut case of racial profiling here. Now,
What?
you seem to be tying this young frog person to acts committed by what might potentially be an entirely different frog person, and the only thing you seem to have going for you is the fact that they happen to look alike. I don't know about you or where you, how folks do this here, but for a simple country lawyer like myself, it seems to be racial profiling.
A simple country. Wait a second. And she like reaches to her hip again, and she pulls a piece of parchment. And she unfolds it. She looks at it, and then she looks at you, Zero. And then she looks at it, and then she looks at you.
We about to double down on racially profiling?
Woo, shit. I didn't realize I'd be in the hot seat. I'm in the fucking, what the hell, man? She just like adjusts her color. Now, wait. There's no need to rush to assumptions. I am simply saying, you all look like the people we just kicked out of this tower. And there's some shenanigans happening with some magical book.
Well, it seems like the book might be the issue then.
What, so you represent all of these people? And who is that? And she looks at Quinn, who's just kind of like standing there too, like with you, right? Because like you have to stick by Zero essentially, because he's representing you for something else that you did.
Yes, maybe I'm unclear, but lawyers do represent multiple clients at the same time, no?
And I have the right to remain silent.
Apparently not the ability.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. And she just like rubs like the bridge of her nose, right? And she just says, fine, we will do this by the book. You will present your defense and you will come to court tomorrow.
Fantastic. Where and when?
Here, as you should know.
Here in this exact spot?
Here, in the tower.
Fantastic.
Wait, so
is there a
we are
specific
allowed in the
courtroom
tower?
I'm looking for, or should I just unleash them upon the tower and tell them to find the first thing that looks like a courtroom?
What? You are the greatest. You are the world's greatest barrister.
Yes.
But do not know where the courtroom is.
Well, more specifically, which courtroom I'm being ordered to appear at. You do have more than one, correct?
Yes, we do. You appear on the courtroom. What floor haven't I come up with something for? Second floor. Public law. We'll be in courtroom 6A. 9 a.m. If you are late, warrants will be issued for all of your arrests. And she looks like way too excited when she says that. Do not be late.
We have no intention on it. If there's anything else, are we free to go?
As long as you do not step foot on these grounds until tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Fantastic. I think we're going to have a good number of briefs to be going over with before then. Gentlemen, lady?
The book stays with us.
Yes,
It's
I believe
evidence.
that would be evidence. As is only right and proper.
And she, takes
Or-
the book.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Boris, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Boris picks it up and hands it to her, but make sure to hand it to her open to a later page in the book.
Just, what is this nonsense? And she just, closes it and puts it away in, a bag. Why? Okay, be gone with you.
You heard the good lady. Gentlemen, lady. And Zero will lead the way back out of the tower district and back towards our lodgings.
You leave the tower. As you're leaving the tower district, a wagon pulls up and Hedrick is on the back of it. Hey, guys.
As we pass the gate, Gerald turns to Zero. Do we try the food poisoning plan next?
But the first thing Zero does is they get out of the gate, and he takes the little fishbowl back out, pours the contents of the mug of the boss back into the fishbowl, puts both back into his jacket, and whew, that could have gone very differently.
Hedrick will kind of like swing his way out of the door of the carriage and just standing there and just say, "Thanks for tucking me in, guys. Why don't you catch me up? Hop in."
Pregnar, you hear nothing that actually Hedrick actually said. You've like your attention is solely focused on the creature that is on Hedrick's shoulder.
Big blank stare.
Ragnar, I think there's somebody you should meet.
Is it? Could it be the hamster that rides a unicycle and wears a fez?
I named him Harold, but I call him Harry.
Wow. Can I hold him?
Well, sure.
Pregnar reaches out.
Yeah, and Hedrick would extend his arm so that Harry can unicycle his way from Hedrick's arm onto Pregnart's.
This is the happiest day of Pregnart's life.
Pregnar, make me an animal handling check, please.
Even better than chorizo, the anthropomorphic sausage.
3.
You're too slick.
Music to my ears.
No. No.
The hamster looks you deep into your blank stare. And you hear in your mind,
I am Balathor. I am a being trapped in a space and time. You will free me from this mortal coil.
and it's like its eyes are like glowing,
Oh my
just ever
God.
so slightly red, and then it just turns back to normal and starts chittering at you and like hugs you.
Pregnart's terrified.
No, you feel absolutely compelled to do whatever this hamster says. But we'll find out what
my
that thing
God.
says next week on the Hapless Heroes podcast.
No.
I would say just tell homie to sit tight for about 18 hours.
no.
He'll be as free as he wants.
This damn hamster is Ebenezer.
Why do you hate
Thank
me,
you.
Fran?
I don't hate you. I love you. Speaking of loving us,
blame it on
hey,
the dice.
I like how my poor animal handling role results in actually I don't mishandle the hamster, but the hamster is possessed
mishandles
by
you. It's handling you.
Got it.
It's handling you now.
animals
Those animal handling
handling.
checks for Hedrick earlier were,
Oh, God.
just to prevent him from being compelled by this otherworldly creature.
Fuck.
It's like if you guys have seen Captain Marvel, the cat is not a cat.
Spoiler.
Yeah, it's been out for over 2 years.
Yeah. I think we're
All
safe
that Hedrick knows is that Pregnart requested this.
Mhm.
And Pregnart's been known to animate fucking gazebos. So he has no idea whether this is a normal hamster, whether this is some extra dimensional thing. For all he knows, it has not been hostile, and that is the only way
Oh, yeah.
he has.
It is being perfectly cute and sweet to all the rest
Wait.
of you.
So Pregnart heard that voice, but what does he know? Wait, he's not afraid though?
No,
I feel like Pregnart would be afraid if he heard a voice
no,
like that.
absolutely not. It's like it sounds horrifying, but it's you feel oddly.
If you're
You
10
just
feet
feel
away
like
from
you-
Jarrell, you can't be
like-
afraid. so-
You just and you just feel like you really want to help this thing.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, if you like us, you can find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter and Instagram. Look for @HaplessHeroes. You can also find us on Facebook and Reddit. Look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. But really, those places have sticky posts and other things that will guide you to where we socialize most frequently, and that is our Discord server. You can meet, interact with us, talk about the show, talk about things related to D&D, things that are not related to D&D. weird hot takes on the things that we just some of us are, some of the hills that we are willing to die on in arguments, such as what food is appropriate to bring into a movie theater. But we encourage you to come in, join the discussion, be a part of our burgeoning and awesome community. It's a pretty great time. But if you really, really like us, you could leave us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. That helps our show climb the rankings of whatever fucking algorithm determines what people get recommended our show. I don't know how this stuff works. It's all just... it's Al Gore just, pulling the cables and in some sort of rhythm, and and that's just how it goes. And I don't know, man. I mean, you got to help Al Gore notice us. Really, that's your goal, right? Is to have. Anyways, I'm running out of steam with that particular joke. So yeah, leave us a review, and it'd be nice. And if your podcast service doesn't let you leave reviews, you can also just say some kind words to us by emailing us at haplessheroes@gmail.com or using the awesome 5-star channel we have in our Discord server, where you can say some nice things about us. And again, we'll say some nice things right back at you on the air. Until then, you could also, if you really, really, really like us, donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a bunch of different rewards, behind-the-scenes audio, bloopers, like all this other stuff. Like, whatever we ever have collected over the last, several years, just, as a way of saying thank you to all of you who've been donating to us and, supporting the show for so long. You're helping keep the lights on. You're putting the wind in our sails. It really is just an amazing thing. So thank you to all of our current, future, and former donors. We love you.
And if you like us, right now you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, invent a little robot that hides inside of acoustic guitars and retrieves your guitar pick when you drop it in there, and when it pops back out and gives you back your guitar pick, it says, "Hey, I'm the little robot that lives inside your guitar. Also, listen to the Hapless Heroes podcast."
Huh.
Man, I do hate shaking picks out of an acoustic guitar.
Yep, it's the worst.
I imagine it's like a little crab. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing. So it's just like a little crab that lives inside and comes out. That's sweet.
I was definitely imagining something that was definitely not bipedal, because I feel like during its downtime it sort of splays its legs out and sort of crams itself into a corner so it stabilizes itself,
But it's got the little claw that really doesn't do anything, and then it's got the big claw that grabs the pick.
Oh yeah.
It just taunts you with it.
Sometimes it has an accent.
Yeah, it makes you
like
answer it makes you answer 3 riddles before it gives you the pick back.
My goodness.
The end.
The end. Anyways, speaking of endings, I'm going to outro the cast like I do during every ending of this show, and it's going to start with John playing Lord Gerald the Light.
Until next time.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
Little Harold, you are amazing.
Zach as Pregnart.
This hamster seems normal.
Nicole as Boris the Butcher.
A friend for
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
But going invisible always works.
And Dave as Zero, Balin's Avatar of War.
Good evening.
And I'm Francesco. I've been your host and DM, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.